Ready? You're gonna sit there. You'll be good. Okay. Hi, my name is Corrine Cumming, also known as Captured by Corrine, and I shoot here at my studio, Hotdog Studios, with my sausage dog, Cecil. Today we are shooting with Charity Kase for the last of her looks for Drag Race Season 3. The first look we're doing is a biker chick, Marge Simpson. So we're basically recreating the living room from The Simpsons. We've got the picture that goes above the sofa, and then we're going to draw in, well, Charity is going to draw in with Procreate the sofa and the lamp. Because we want this to be really bright, I'm going to be putting 2 of these on. They're just Bowen's Gemini 500Rs with a softbox either side to light up the background. And then I'm going to have a big octabox to the front. So let me start with these. And shoes off when you're walking on the colorama. My main light is this massive octabox. I like to shoot it, shoot with the light coming from the left-hand side. And I found out that that's usually people who read left to right, when you read your books and stuff, that's how you prefer to read your lights. We'll turn this down. Come slightly towards me. Take a small step to your right, slightly, very slightly. Yeah, to show you what that looks like. It'll be brighter on you though.
Ah! I'm obsessed.
Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. I've never studied photography, I just taught myself everything. I used my student loan to get my first proper camera. I got an 1100D. I built up to shoot for small online publications. I then got contacted by Rock Sound, which is a really big alternative music magazine in the UK. A magazine that I used to buy when I was a kid. I used to get the bus home and save up the 50p that my mum would give me for the train so that I could go and buy myself Rock Sound. And then I was shooting for Rock Sound, so that was really cool. So that was kind of how my music journey started. But through that, I used to be the in-house photographer at Dingwalls in Camden, and someone came to, I think it was the Q Awards, had an after party there. And one of my friends came and he brought a date. And she was like, hey, do you want to come to a drag show down the road? So I went with her and I just thought it was the best thing I'd ever seen. From then on, I just got obsessed with shooting drag. I just thought it was so interesting. There's just more to it than just shooting a band on stage. There was just so much artistry. And from then, it kind of set me up for the kind of work I do now, really. And about 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to take over this space. It was the biggest, scariest thing I'd ever done because I'd only ever shot in a studio once before I got this studio. Really? I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that there was something that it was something that I wanted to do, was to get my own studio, whether I knew what I was doing or not. I was like, I'll get it. I will plow all of my savings into it and I'll just see what happens. Okay, so my kits. I shoot with a Canon 5D Mark IV. I recently upgraded from the Mark III. I still use the Mark III, but I use it as kind of my backup / second body. So when I'm shooting live music and events, I use a black rapid and have a camera on each side with a different lens on each. Mostly just because I'm lazy and it saves time. But in the studio, I just use the one. I have a 16-35. This is a wide lens, as wide as you can get without it being a fisheye. It's also really good to use if you've got a a trigger and like a handheld flash. So you can have your camera in one hand, a handheld flash up here, and you can trigger it off. And it looks really nice with this lens. In here, my most used lens is the 70-200 f4. The reason why I like it is because I can sit on the floor over at the wall and get exactly the right angle and not have to move. It's another really lazy thing is I can be sitting there shooting and just zoom in and out, and I've got like all the angles that I wanted and all of the crops that I wanted too. And this is new, I just got this. So this is the 24-70 version 2. I'm gonna start with the 24-70 because I always do, the 70-200 even, because I always do. And then we'll see if I wanna shoot this landscape or not. Okay, which one are we doing next, the pumpkin? So we're about to shoot look 2, which is a demon pumpkin. Yeah, I guess. It's super fun and ridiculous and fantastical and horror, which is Charity's personal brand. Alexa, play This Is Halloween.
Wow. I absolutely love these.
My top tip is to, when you have a new subject in front of you, ask them to kind of pose themselves how they feel comfortable and then tweak it from there. Because sometimes, you know, people who aren't used to photo shoots, for example, will come in and someone will just move them and move them, and it might not look right, I guess. So if you start with a basis of like, this is how they're comfortable sitting, this is how they're comfortable standing, this is how they're comfortable posing, and then tweak it from there, it can look more natural, I think. I mean, with drag queens, it's a different thing. Like, you know, drag performers have like themselves as people, and then there's also their persona, which are not necessarily the same thing. So sometimes you'll get a performer come and they switch it on. You know, they're a completely different person from when they are like. For example, with someone like Charity, it's like super easy because she comes correct. So I don't have to like do as much directing. Sometimes I'm like, move this, do this, bring your chin down, blah blah. But like the basis is there. And I just tweak it. I feel like that's the way that works best for me. So we're about to shoot the third look of the day, our third and final look. And it is a toxic witch?
Swamp witch.
A swamp witch. And so we're shooting it with rose pink on the backdrop, and we're doing green along the floor for like a kind of foresty, swampy vibe. Charity always comes with a sketch of like what she wants everything to look like. And what I do is I just make what they want in their heads happen. Smoke machine. I bought a smoke machine that has the button so that I could press it from here and still shoot. Switching the softbox on this head to a reflector. And then, where are my gels? Green, did you say? So what I'm doing is taping green gel over the top. And if I do it this way, I don't have to cut it, so it lasts longer. So I just double it up so that it's like an intense enough green. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I think that's fine. You ready?
The more smoke, the better, I think. Yeah, I love these.
Most people that come to me for drag stuff come to me to get kind of like photos for like their posters and for like advertising themselves. and especially underrepresented drag performers, so like drag kings and, I hate the term, but assigned female at birth queens. You know, they don't have as many opportunities as some of, you know, the cis queens do and stuff. So I really like to shoot kind of like the underrepresented and, you know, people who need a bit more advertising to get themselves out there and stuff. I feel like that's like reflected in my like rates and stuff as well. So for example, with drag queens and drag kings that aren't on Drag Race, I do everything for a reduced rate so that everyone who wants to shoot can afford it.